What do Hulk Hogan, Lindsay Lohan, and Charlie Sheen all have in common? Well, they were all mentioned in former President Trump's hush money trial on Thursday. Trump's attorney grilling Keith Davidson, who was a lawyer for each of those celebrities, to undercut Davidson's credibility. And we'll just say this, the entire thing was a show and a spectacle. Here to give us all the details is NewsNation's Caitlin Becker. Caitlin, how did all of this play out in a court of law yesterday?
I bet you didn't expect to hear Charlie Sheen and Lindsay Lohan's name thrown out in court in a historic trial of a former president. Wasn't on my bingo card, probably wasn't on yours, but the jury was absolutely riveted to this testimony. It was the most exciting day to date in this hush money trial. Jurors kind of watching the exchange like a tennis match, sort of pinging their attention back and forth between the lawyers for both the prosecution and the defense and Keith Davidson. And of course, the former president was also glued to this testimony. He was gesticulating a lot at the defense table, having whispered conversations with his attorney about what Davidson was saying. And Davidson was, of course, the former attorney for Stormy Daniels, and he brokered that $130,000 deal for her story of an alleged one-night stand with Donald Trump. And I use that phrase very specifically because this was actually argued on the stand. Davidson insisting that it wasn't a sordid affair, there was no romantic relationship. He called it a one-time interaction. Now, prosecutors underscoring their overall theory of the case through Davidson's testimony, specifically about how he worked with a increasingly unhinged Michael Cohen, telling jurors with certainty that he believed that even though he was working with Michael Cohen as an intermediary, that Donald Trump was pulling the strings. But the fireworks, they came when the defense cross-examined him. Attorney Emile Beauvais hammered Keith Davidson about his unsavory dealings in the world of tabloid journalism. He basically called him a bottom feeder on the stand and accused him of essentially extortion, of shaking down celebrities like Charlie Sheen, like Lindsay Lohan, like Donald Trump. Now, we ended court with a forensic analyst on the stand, Douglas Dowse. Now, his testimony essentially is just allowing in a trove of text messages and audio recordings that he investigated as part of the Manhattan DA's office that belonged to iPhones that were Michael Cohen's. Now, before court broke, the jury heard one of these audio recordings between Michael Cohen and Trump, where Cohen is heard discussing setting up a shell corporation, which it's been testified to thus far with, I think, multiple witnesses, was then used to funnel money to Stormy Daniels through Keith Davidson. So that's where we're at now. But Markie, we also had a gag order hearing in the morning. There are 4 violations on the table where prosecutors said since the trial started, they're accusing Donald Trump of violating this gag order where he is prohibited from talking about jurors or witnesses in this case. They cited 4 instances. The judge indicated that at least one of them, where he called David Pecker nice, he's probably going to lean with the defense on that one, probably going to lean with the prosecution on another. That leaves 2 more up in the air, so potentially 3 more violations. It's $3,000 to add to the $9,000 that he has to pay out from earlier this week, and that $9,000 from 9 previous gag order violation fines has to be paid by tomorrow.
Caitlin, there are so many moving parts to this trial, and it's dizzying. You've done a brilliant job getting us up to speed. Caitlin Becker, thanks so much, live from that federal courthouse this morning.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.